It's 10:52 p.m. You're lying in bed, eyes open, tired, but not asleep, because your brain is doing that thing again, running the numbers, income, expenses, bills, groceries, fuel, subscriptions you forgot to cancel. And then it lands on the same number it always does, the mortgage, and suddenly, everything feels tighter, not broken, not terrible, just restricted. Like no matter how much you earn, your life is already spoken for, so you tell yourself something comforting. Once things settle down, I'll relax. But here's the truth, nobody tells you. Things don't settle down, they stabilize, and then they repeat, month after month, year after year, until one day, you realize something uncomfortable. Your entire life has been quietly built around one question: can I afford this? After the mortgage. Now here's where it gets interesting. Because somewhere, maybe in your own city, there's someone living a completely different version of life. They're not wildly rich. They don't earn 10x more than you. They don't drive a super or live some Instagram fantasy. But there's something different about them. They don't check their bank account before making small decisions. They don't hesitate before taking time off. They don't feel that low constant pressure sitting in the background of every choice. And the strange part, it's not because they make more money, it's because one thing changed. They paid off their house, and what happens after that is not what most people expect. Most people think paying off a house is simple. You work for years, you make payments, and one day, you're done. No more mortgage. That's the reward, right? Just one less bill, a financial milestone, a checkbox, something nice, but not life-changing. But that belief is exactly why most people completely misunderstand what's actually happening, because the mortgage is not just a bill. It's something much deeper. It's a silent force that shapes your entire life. And the moment it disappears, it doesn't just change your finances, it changes how you think, how you decide, how you live. But to understand why, you have to see something most people never notice. Every decision you make passes through a filter. You don't see it, you don't hear it, but it's always there, and it asks one simple question: will this affect my ability to pay the mortgage? That's it. That one question quietly controls the job you stay in, the risks you avoid, the opportunities you ignore, the dreams you delay. Want to quit a toxic job? Can I still pay the mortgage? Want to start a business? What if income drops? Can I still pay the mortgage? Want to take a break? Not now. I have responsibilities. It's not dramatic, it's not obvious, but it's constant. Like a background app running on your phone, draining your battery slowly, and after a few years, you stop noticing it. You think this is just how life works, but it's not. It's just how life works. When you have a large fixed obligation sitting on your shoulders every single month, let's simplify this. Imagine your life is a game every month. You start at zero, before you can do anything enjoyable, before you can invest, before you can breathe. You have to hit a number, a minimum survival number. Let's say that number is $4,000. If you hit it, you're safe. If you don't, stress kicks in. Now here's the important part. For most people, half of that number is the mortgage, which means before your life even begins each month, you're already halfway behind. Now imagine something different. Same life, same person, same income, but one thing changes. The mortgage disappears. Suddenly, that $4,000 requirement drops to $2,500. And that's the moment most people underestimate, because they think, oh, I just saved some money. No, you didn't just save money, you changed the rules of the game. Let me ask you a simple question. Who is more free? Someone who earns $6,000 a month, but needs $5,500 to survive? Or someone who earns $4,000, but only needs $2,500? Most people instinctively say the first person. Higher income, more money, better life. But that's wrong. The second person is more powerful, because their life costs less to maintain, which means they can survive longer. Without income, they can take more risks. They can walk away when things go wrong, and this is the shift most people never make. They focus on increasing income without realizing that lowering required income is often far more powerful. Here's something that might change how you see money forever. Stress is not just about how much money you have, it's about how much pressure is on you to keep earning it. When you have a large monthly obligation, like a mortgage, your brain enters a specific mode, defense mode. Protect income, avoid risk, stay safe, even if you don't realize it. Your decisions become smaller, safer, more predictable. You don't experiment, you don't explore, you don't push too far, because there's too much to lose. But when that pressure drops, something unexpected happens. Your brain changes modes, from "don't lose what I have" to "what can I build next?" And that shift, that's where life starts to open up. You'd think removing a mortgage would instantly make people feel free, and for some people, it does, but for others, it creates something strange, a sense of emptiness, because for years, their life had a clear structure. Earn money gives, pay mortgage gives. Repeat, there was pressure, but there was also direction, and when that pressure disappears, they don't know what to do next. So what do? They replace it. Bigger car, more expensive lifestyle, higher spending, new obligations, and just like that, they rebuild the same cage, different shape, same pressure. This is the trap almost nobody sees coming. Meet Ahmed, he's 35, stable job, decent income, smart guy. But every month, $2,200 goes straight to his mortgage. And for years, he's had an idea, a small business, nothing crazy, just something he actually cares about. But every time he thinks about starting, the same thoughts show up. What if it fails? What if income drops? What if I can't cover the house? So he waits. Not because he's lazy, not because he's incapable, but because the risk feels too real now. Fast forward 10 years, Ahmed pays off his house, same person, same skills, same idea. But something feels different. The risk. It doesn't feel as dangerous anymore. Because even if things go wrong, he still has a place to live, and for the first time, he actually tries. Not because he suddenly became brave, but because the pressure decreased. Now let's talk about something even more powerful. What happens to the money you were paying every month? Let's say your mortgage was $2,000. After taxes, maintenance, and insurance, maybe $500 still goes out. But that leaves $1,500 every single month. Now most people think, nice, extra spending money. But that's the wrong way to see it. That $1,500 is not spending money, it's leverage. Because if you take that same amount and consistently invest it, something quiet but powerful starts happening. Time begins to work for you, and over the next 10-20 years, that money compounds, not because you did anything extraordinary, but because you finally had room to build. And this is where the real transformation begins. Here's a line you need to remember. Rich people have money, free people have options, and those are not the same thing. You can earn a high income, drive a nice car, live in a big house, and still feel trapped, because your lifestyle requires you to keep earning at that level. But when your cost of living drops, you gain something more valuable than money. Flexibility, and flexibility creates options. Options to leave bad situations, try new things, redesign your life. And most people never experience this, because they spend their entire life increasing their lifestyle, instead of reducing their dependence. If there's one idea you take from this video, let it be this: your freedom is directly tied to how much your life costs to maintain. Not how much you earn, not how much you save, but how much you need, because the lower that number goes, the less control money has over you, and the more control you have over your life. This doesn't mean you should rush and aggressively pay off your house at all costs. That decision depends on your situation, your interest rate, your opportunities, your goals. But what it does mean is that you need to understand what the finish line actually gives you, because it's not just no more payment, it's something much deeper. It's the removal of a constant pressure you've been carrying for years, and once it's gone, you finally get to decide what your life looks like without that weight. So the next time you're lying in bed, running the numbers, trying to figure out if this month will finally feel easier, Understand this: you're not stuck because you don't earn enough. You're stuck because your life requires too much, and the people who feel free the earliest aren't always the ones making the most money. They're the ones who reduce the pressure the most. One decision at a time, one expense at a time, one payment at a time, until one day, there's nothing left pulling on them, and for the first time in years, their mind goes quiet. Not because they stopped caring, not because they stopped trying, but because they finally don't have to survive anymore. They can choose, and that is when life actually begins.